Hello, everyone. Am I on already? All right. Hello, everyone. My name is Maciej. I'm the Director of Infrastructure Observability at Dynatrace, of the product. This is Matt.
Good morning, good morning. How are we doing today? There you go, there you go. We got some energy, that's good, that's good, that's good. My name is Matt Gibietz. I'm a Senior Solutions Engineer out of Florida. So I'm very happy that we got good weather these days because I really was not looking to anything cold. So hopefully you guys are looking forward to this session.
All right, and today we will show you how to use new Dynatrace platform and new Dynatrace application to rapidly triage and assess health of your infrastructure, and also how to reduce the MTTR for the related problems with it. And specifically, we'll do that for clouds, hosts, devices, and services. Okay, here is the slide changer. So Dynatrace continues to deliver to the bigger platform vision, as you know, which is analytics and automation for unified observability and security. And infrastructure observability remains one of our key investments to support that vision. And it's using all of the newest innovations like Grail, like new data sources, and all of the other platform components. And the reason why we treat it as one of our key investments is because we believe infrastructure lies at the core of application health. And literally speaking, there is no assessment of application health without infrastructure insights. But at the same time, and you know it very well, infrastructure nowadays is ultra multidisciplinary area where assessing problems or assessing health of it might differ in various environments like on-prem, cloud, containerized environments, databases, and network. The approach to triaging problems might be totally different. And also, if you look at the issues that we deal with, that infra-ops deal with on a daily basis, there is also a variety of them. There might be issues that are directly user visible, like underperforming device or stalls in network or database. So the reasons to switch off part of all of your application. But also there are those that are not directly visible by the users, but when left unattended or just not taken care of, they might pile up and cause your business to suffer both operationally and financially. And those are, for example, low capacity of your infrastructure, incompatibility of the data, and especially in cloud environments, excessive costs that are usually uncontrolled. So Dynatrace uses various vehicles, various methods to harness that complexity, starting from dashboards, which allow you obviously to see your data, to pivot it for your best usage, through the notebooks, which allow you to plan and store your daily routines, and then share it, and then pivot it, and then also reuse it for your later operations. Through the workflows, which allow you to put your data into motion, so receive events, reach out to automation consoles of your devices, for example, and last but not least, up to the applications, which are our ultimate way to to address your key usages for the particular personas. And obviously obviously all of these methods will use data from one agent, from extensions, as well as from forwarders, delivered by Dynatrace or provided by your business. So with that said, this was just an introduction to the main topic for today, which is with this perform, we are announcing three new core infrastructure applications, which is infrastructure and ops, application, clouds, observability, cloud application, and databases application.
Woo!
Thanks, Matt.
Come on, come on.
So we built them so you can these applications are dedicated to specific roles, to specific personas in your organization. And the way how I would like to tell about those today is like we are complementing the bigger vision of application, the bigger insights into application with enabling these particular personas, these particular pillars to focus on key aspects of the work, and by this enable the fast and efficient triage, especially for these areas of ownership. So let's start from the infrastructure and operations app, which we bring to boost the situational awareness of the infrastructure health and the problems across the whole enterprise. And this is, by the way, including both on-prem and cloud environment. So the three views you'll find in it, the data center view, the host overview, and the detailed views, they are used to follow the red up from the data center down to individual processes and technologies with individual signals, like logs, issues, vulnerabilities, SLOs, and others. So this is from me for this app, and now Matt will show you how that works in practice.
Can we switch to the demo?
And can we switch to demo right now? Yeah.
Thank you. So we figured there's a lot of slides, right? There's always a lot of slides. So we want to keep it a little bit more interactive, so we're going to walk you guys through the actual demo of these applications. The beauty of that is that whatever you guys see in here will be able to be enabled in your environment starting after perform. So if you like it, if you think that this is something you'll want to do, definitely reach out to your account team and make sure that these apps are already deployed into your environment. With that said, we're going to start with this data center application, or infrastructure and operations as we call it. So let's start with a question. With the raise of hands, who in here is in a multi-cloud or hybrid environment? Come on, everybody's hands should be going up, right? Okay, yeah, that was a good question. And this is one of the drivers why we decided to create this application. Because when you run in this hybrid or multi-cloud environment, today in Dynatrace, you really are looking at kind of bouncing between the different tabs, right? You probably go from hosts to processes to Smartscape to kind of understand how your environment looks like. And this application, infrastructure and operations, brings it all together. So what you guys are looking at, this my screen right now, is the data center is the infrastructure and operations application with the data center view. And you can see that without filtering, I already have my entire environment in here. So you can see I have my AWS availability zones, you can see I have my Azure regions, and you can see I have some of my physical data centers. The beauty of that is that very easy, without really having a PhD in Dynatrace, you can figure out and filter out the data center that you want to do a deep dive into. So let's say that today, I'm going to be interested in AWS. I can come in here and click on AWS availability zone, and now I'm looking at all of the availability zones that I am monitoring today with Dynatrace. But maybe let's say, and we want to actually now take a look at a data center where we actually have a problem. So let's see one of them has a problem in here. Intuitively, if there's a problem, we'll highlight things in the red color. So in this case, Detroit, Michigan, we have a problem, probably because it's cold there. I always blame the cold on everything. So in this case, if we do have a problem, we will want to probably dive in and understand what's happening. So let's say, and click on the one open problem in here. As soon as I do that, I am now diving into the hosts that are running inside of this data center. And keep in mind that that already should be a little bit different, right? Because if you guys look at troubleshooting today, kind of you have to jump through different tabs. But with this application, everything stays on the same screen. It's very easy to jump back and forth between hosts. And if you want to go back to the data centers, you can dive into the data centers. So now as I look at the one host in here, obviously you have a problem in here. It's red. Well, probably we should do a deep dive. Let's go ahead and click on it. As soon as we click on it, Dynatrace will start highlighting for you what is happening on this infrastructure component. You can see that out of the box, we see 99.59% CPU utilization in here. That is probably a problem. So now probably wondering, okay, but why is the CPU so high? Well, this next thing we want to do is probably dive into the technology that's causing that CPU saturation. So we could go to technologies or we could go to processes. But I'm going to start with technologies, because I think this is something that we've been hearing from our customers today, that in terms of inventory and really looking at what is running on my VM today, what is running on my infrastructure component from a technology stack, right? Sometimes it's hassle to go through the process groups and things like that. When today, you will be able to use the infrastructure and operations app, stay within the same application to very easily understand what are all the different technology footprints running inside of your data centers. In this case, let's keep following the problem pattern in here. We have our web server in here that is having a problem. As soon as I open it up, I see that now I have 79.82% CPU utilization that is contributing to the overall CPU saturation event that we have going on this VM. Now, we've been talking a lot about data unification today with Dynatrace, right? The ability that we have Grail on the back end, the ability that we are able to look at the time series data, the traces data, the log data, and really show it to you guys in a unified form. So with that said, when you talk about troubleshooting now with Dynatrace, it'll be very easy to just come in and let's say start looking at logs that might be attached to the process. In this case, if I wanted to, let's say, look at all the logs that are being captured during this problem for this host, all you have to do is, within the same application, click on the Logs tab. Inside of that Log tab, you'll already have a highlighted problem. Hey, here is my CPU saturation event. These are all the logs that are being generated during this CPU saturation event. So imagine how much time that saves you. One of the key words in our title is improving that MTTR. You don't have to go between multiple different tools, multiple different tabs to troubleshoot. You come into the infrastructure component, you identify there is a problem, and all the data that you require to figure out what really happened is right at your fingertips. So with that said, that's our first application, infrastructure and operations, and I'll pass it back to Maciek for some more details.
Yeah, so obviously we are thinking forward about this application, and thanks, Matt, for showing this. This is a couple of things that we will be extending the application in the next couple of months or quarters. This obviously is about making network as a intrinsic part of the application. So we will work on extending the application with SNMP auto-discovered devices, with the network performance analytics on both devices and connections, and also having these working on topologies to connect devices and host. But you may obviously ask, before these advancements come, what is the way to look at the network right now with Dynatrace? And the good news is that with massive advancements and capabilities in our platform, you can already get a lot if it goes about network. So using the predefined dashboards and notebooks, which are available for you to adopt, you can already get the health of the infrastructure, of the network, flow analytics, and capacity. And this is both for on-prem and clouds. With our synthetic engine, you can do the network availability checks for TCPs, for ICMP, and for DNS. And using our custom solutions for example, using the workflows, you can automate reach out to your consoles of your devices. So I prepared a couple of the screenshots of the dashboards that are available for you to adopt for network. And starting from global network health view through the network devices performance collected on the SNMP, from SNMP data, and something you will for sure love and enjoy. This is NetFlow and Cloudflow logs analytics that you can right now do with the Grail and the dashboards. So switching to the next application, the Clouds app, which we do for cloud operations. This is our new home for cloud ops with Dynatrace. And with this app, we are bringing a couple of concepts that we are pretty sure your cloud ops will love. So first one, the multi-cloud view of all your services, independent of the cloud vendor, of the location, of the type of service. You will have it on one screen. Then we are enabling instant filtering of those services according to your needs. And with two of these concepts, we are allowing the controlling the usage even per for a particular user. So Matt will show you that in a second. Again, we believe that this is a great way to start working right now as the new way with clouds. Matt, over to you to show it how that works in practice.
Back to me, back to a demo. Okay, so the first thing I want to highlight before we go to the Clouds app, one of the very important things for us is that as you guys are navigating through Dynatrace, it doesn't matter which application you guys are using. We want to make it as easy as possible. So watch this. I'm going to go from the infrastructure and operations app to the Clouds app. Looks similar, same menu on left-hand side, very easy to navigate through the different apps. So the learning curve to really start using all these new applications in Dynatrace is not very, very steep. So hopefully that's very exciting to you guys. When we go into the clouds application, a lot of people said you guys are in that hybrid or multi-cloud environment, right? Which is good. So now I know that this application will definitely apply to you. And what Dynatrace now brings in with the cloud applications is the ability to look at all of your cloud resources, all of your cloud services in the same spot. No need to dive in separately to Azure. No need to dive in separately into AWS or GCP. All of that data at your fingertips in the same place in Dynatrace. And as you take a look at this application, again, we can do so many different things to filter out for the components that we care about. Maybe you guys are a cloud engineer or cloud admin, and you are supporting the NORM territory. You could just come in here, click the out-of-the-box filter that Dynatrace generates. Now you're looking at all your cloud resources, again, through your multiple different cloud providers in here that you are supporting, that you have to essentially have visibility into. But let's say maybe you look at this application and you say, you know what? I own resources through multiple different cloud providers. I have some, Lambdas in AWS, and I have some Azure functions in Azure, but I know that I have a very good tagging strategy in cloud. And I only want to see the resources that I care about, right? Because I want to make sure that they're running right. So let's say you guys have a very good tagging strategy, and you have a tag that basically assigns the ownership of who actually owns that cloud resource. You could just come in here, type in, you don't have to type in the whole tag, you can just type in a variable that essentially that tag contains, click search, and now what Dynatrace will do, it'll highlight for me all the resources that have a tag attached to it, where in this case, if you guys are wondering what the hell I typed in, that's Wojciech, that's a Polish name, so we have some PMs and developers in Poland, so that's why this word might be looking a bit different. But the point is that, again, you can use these concepts that you guys are already applying in your cloud environments, like the tagging strategy, to really pinpoint and find the resources that you really care about. Well, again, we talked in here about this session, improving your MTTR and helping you troubleshoot. So the next thing we're probably going to care about, specifically for this demo, is, okay, well, I already know these are all of my resources. And the ones I'm going to care about are probably the ones that are affected by the problem at the moment. But instead of just clicking on them, let's show you another capability in here. You could just click affected by problem, click search again, and now again, this list will be trimmed down to just the resources that right now are having a problem. Well, now you obviously want to understand, well, what's happening? Why do I have a problem in here? Same story as what we saw in the infrastructure and operations application. Follow the red color, right? Come in here, you can click on any of these, in this case, Lambdas that are having a problem. Dynatrace brings out a whole bunch of metadata out of the box, right? So like I said, the tags that we use in here to get in here, you can see that here's the word that actually matched the tag. We can go directly to a problem and see what the problem was. As you type in on multiple infrastructure problem, will automatically highlight for you. In this case, we're dealing with a Lambda high error rate. Something that I personally love about this application. Notice how easy it is to stay within the same app, and I don't have to open up like multiple different tabs. If I have any of my customers here right now, they're probably making fun of me because when I share my screen, they see like 50,000 tabs open in Dynatrace, and they're like, how do you know where to go? That problem goes away. In these applications, all the data is unified. You can stay within the same application to perform all the troubleshooting steps that you need to. Last but not least, we talked about this ability to unify your troubleshooting in here. We talked a lot about storing all of the data in Grail. Once again, an example in here. You're looking at your Lambda. Maybe you didn't instrument your Lambda yet with Dynatrace, right? And you're only pulling this data from CloudWatch and AWS. But you are doing AWS log forwarding. Well, let's see if there's any logs that are actually being pumped to Dynatrace that actually are captured when this problem is happening. Sure enough, that's what's happening in here. You click show logs for the problem. Dynatrace automatically creates for you DQL. So for my folks in here that are a little bit anxious about learning the DQL, no worries, we're going to help you guys out, and here's one way how we're doing it. Automatically showing you all the log events that are being captured when Dynatrace detected a high error rate increase for this Lambda. So again, that data unification is huge, and hopefully you guys are seeing that through the entire platform. These applications, the cloud application, brings that to you as well. Maciek, back to you.
All right, thanks, Matt. So there is a funny story related to this application. When we first enabled that in engineering for the first demo, we wanted to filter out one of our team members name there, and we found out that he's using like more than 50% of the cloud resources that we work on. So this was like instant benefit the same day we got it. So we'll be, as the next step, we'll be focusing on expanding the cloud governance use case with this application. So additional filtering capabilities for the properties and everything then comes down to expanding the controlling the cloud usage. And one of the use cases we are really thinking about is also to allow people to filter out the services based on the ramp-up times and shutdown times, which can help with the assessment of the infrastructure. So our third jewel in the crown, in the infrastructure crown, this is a database application. And we are treating database as our first-class citizens. And the reason for that is that we think databases should be analyzed not only in the application context, but also in the context of the infrastructure that is below that the databases are relying on. So again, we got more or less three places where you can assess your database infrastructure. This is infra overview, all of the databases in one place. Then the database details with the particular metrics that are associated with the databases. And also the thing that is really cool is statement performance analysis down to individual query to assess how the queries are performing individually. And again, back to Matt.
Back to the demo. Okay, I'm going to start this one with a question. We'll see how this one goes. How many DBAs do I have in the room?
There's one.
I knew this is going to happen. Guys, this is the time to introduce Dynatrace to your DBAs. This is exactly what the database application will do for you. Right? You will be able to now bring DBAs inside Dynatrace, and they will be able to look inside Dynatrace and do the same troubleshooting steps that today they're doing in their DBA tools. We talk a lot about team collaboration. We talk a lot about single source of truth. And I feel like the DBAs are a little bit ignored maybe over the years. And now we've really realized it, and we really want to bring them into the Dynatrace platform. So let's take a look how that works. What you guys are looking at right now is the database application. We're just starting with an overview, right? So as a DBA, I also will care about the administrative things. Like, what is the split of the different database technologies that I have in my environment? Very easy for me to highlight in here. What is the status of those databases? Are they okay? Are they not? Right? So very easy dashboarding and things like that are already bubbled up in here in the application. But what you guys are probably going to care the most about, and what your DBAs will care most about, is the deep dive into the individual databases themselves. So today, as you guys know, right, when we monitor databases with Dynatrace, we extract the data from the one agent, from the JDBC connection string, and then we can deploy extensions. And it's a little bit of a hassle to kind of dive into the different screens when we do analysis. Again, data unification, that's the theme. So when you are using now the database application, no matter whether you're pumping data to Dynatrace through logs, no matter whether you're pumping data to Dynatrace through the extension, or no matter whether the one agent is capturing that data, you will be able to use the database application to perform any troubleshooting steps, any triaging steps that you want to do on all the data that is captured around the database resources. So let's take an example. Again, we really prepared in here. We made sure that we have a problem for at least every single scenario, so we're going to focus on our Oracle database in here. Let's start with the fact that I just want to look inside of my Oracle database, right? And maybe I'm caring about just the basic metrics. I do want to understand my query performance, right? Maybe just want to look at the overall SQL execution time. And maybe I want to look at my table spaces, right? Again, very easy to bubble up any of these metrics no matter how you're bringing them into Dynatrace. Following that theme of data unification, if there are logs that we are capturing, like in this case, there's a problem, we're capturing logs around that time frame in the problem, you can dive into them, you have all of the log events generated for you automatically. Now, if I ended in here, everybody would say there's no way I'm bringing a DBA into this application. Don't worry, we have an answer for the most important thing. What your DBA will always want to look at is, show me the queries that are actually utilizing the most resources on my database, right? And I don't only want to see the application queries. I want to see all of them, no matter whether the application executes them or whether there's a job on the database that runs it. And this application now will consist of what we call a statement performance capability. If you use that capability for any of your databases, you will be able to now bubble up the statements that are let's call them problem children. The ones that are actually causing problems for our databases, the ones that are running slower. And again, no matter whether they're being executed by an application, whether they're being triggered by an API call to your database, or whether they're being triggered by a job running on your database, you will be able to very easily come in here and say, you know what, show me the query that's contributing to the biggest, essentially, time spent on the database. Or maybe show me the one that has the biggest footprint on the memory of my database instance in here. Very easily now for us to bubble up these type of events. So one thing that I'm going to ask you guys to do for specific this application, give us a chance to talk to your DBAs. Right? I know that they're always going to say, oh, Dynatrace, no, I don't know about that. But I think this is the right time to introduce them, and I think this is the right time to really show them that Dynatrace is now delivering a solution that they might be interested in, especially when you guys are going through your triaging and troubleshooting steps. So with that said, Maciek, back to you.
All right, thanks, Matt. Thanks again. So for expanding the database application, we'll be focusing mostly on tactical things, but still we believe it will be really driving the great user experience for you. So we'll introduce the focus DB views on the logical databases, on the database clusters, as well as just showing in this left panel that Matt was showing you connection pools and all of the splits for the particular types of databases. On the statement performance analysis, we'll expand that view with explain and execution plans for the convenience, and in the logs insights, in the logs insight component, we'll also include the audit logs for the databases. So with that said, you are big welcome to start using the new infra core apps. They are available already. You can start using them, but also I would like to point your attention to the other to the platform components or other applications that might help you in your work with infra and also beyond infra. So first thing, you were seeing the log insights that Matt was showing in these apps. It's interesting to deep dive into that because this is the component that will be reused over all applications that deal with logs, not only for infra, but with all of them. And there is a dedicated booth in our expo area on that, and dedicated breakout session on that. But also, please pay attention to the apps for the Dynatrace admins. So Discovery and Coverage application and extensions are also new apps that will help in preparing your infrastructure for later observability. And having said that, this is it from us. Thanks so much for listening. And thank you. And we got this timer here is showing us we got 2.5 minutes for some questions. Oh,
I think this is the first one right here.
Yes, so the question was about, do we have NetFlow coming to Dynatrace? Yes, you can store the NetFlow through the FluentD. Right now, we don't have the native data source for NetFlow, but you can ingest by FluentD and then analyze the NetFlow through the dashboards. The same with Cloudflow logs. You can ingest them from Transit Gateway, and then, so you're big welcome to approach our booth. We'll show you exactly how that's done, okay?
So you'll basically use DQL on notebooks and dashboards right now to visualize the flow. Yep. I think there was another one here.
Yeah, this was the second one.
Are you able to see into Redis and monitor the performance of your Redis clusters?
Sorry?
Redis clusters.
Not sure.
So it depends.
I will not pretend I know all of the technologies. We are not.
It depends where you're running it, right? If you're running your Redis cluster, let's say in AWS, we'll automatically ingest that data through the extension that we have for monitoring your AWS environment, right? So that database will then populate in the app, and you'll be able to kind of look at the same things, right? So the beauty in here is that it doesn't matter whether you run your databases on-prem or whether you're using a cloud-native service. The idea is, again, having that unification, right? Having all of them in the same spot.
To my best understanding, we are able to monitor Redis. The cluster will come as the next step.
I think there's a couple more. I don't know who's next. Maybe
Yeah,
over
that's okay.
Yeah, I'm just curious, the statement performance analysis, what databases are supported and are additional ones coming?
So the one we are now supporting is Oracle. The next one is just after Perform, a couple of months, there will be MS SQL Server for statement performance analysis. And then we'll be expanding on that. Yeah, for now, for today, this is Oracle.
I think there's one more in here, and then I think that'll be the last one that we can take. Gotta make you walk.
So until now, you captured the database data, the SQL statements always on the client side. I saw execution plans on the roadmap. How do you get the data for execution plans? And for what technologies will it be available?
For execution plans, this will come, I believe, from extensions or logs. Yeah?
Yep.
So these data that you've seen in this application is mostly coming from extensions. So up till now, you have to look in the particular extension data to get it. Now you get it in one place. The same with execution plans and audit logs, obviously, through our regular log monitoring solution. By the way, I don't know if you noticed that. Most of the questions were about databases, and there was no DB admins here.
I think it was a hit. One other thing on the extensions and databases, any extensions that you guys have deployed today will automatically pump data, and you'll be able to visualize this data with the new applications. So no need to reconfigure anything in here, right? If you already have a Microsoft SQL or Oracle database extension with Dynatrace today, once the new app makes it into the UI, you will be able to analyze that data already in there. You won't have to redeploy anything. So the ease of use is there as well. Unfortunately with that, I think we have to, it's yelling at us, so I think we have to end it, but for more questions, stop at the booth at the expo, and we'll be more than happy to walk you through anything else that you might be wondering.
We will be available for you in our expo booth. Yeah? So, thanks, guys.